volunteers from Malaysia and Taiwan provide medical services for earthquake-affected residents in Nepal. Syrian refugees start a new life in Turkey while waiting to migrate to Europe. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Maggie Tai. Thank you for joining us. After the 2015 Nepal earthquake, Tzu Chi volunteers have been continuously caring for local residents. The first clinic of the year was conducted by a team of Taiwan and Malaysia volunteers. Local residents were grateful for the medical services, helping them overcome long-term pain. Let's take a look.
Here we can see the volunteer carries a box of medical supplies. The 2015 earthquake devastated the municipality of Canggu Narayan. A team of Malaysia and Taiwan Tzu Chi volunteers came to conduct a free clinic.
The first patient arrived around 8 a.m. and the free clinic started at 10. He has been waiting quietly and patiently the whole time.
There aren't any hospitals over here, and we can find many seniors living in this area. Therefore, the presence of doctors is very important for the local residents.
It's a very good camp, actually. I saw so many patients coming here, and they have not been to any hospital, though they have pain from some years and years.
Till now, we see there is a lot of problem regarding the orthopedic. It's about the bone and common problems like fever, ENT problem like eye, throats.
My legs, back, stomach, and teeth are all in pain, so today I came here to seek medical attention.
Although the pain cannot be alleviated right away, residents were very happy to see the presence of both doctors and volunteers. Besides safeguarding the health of the elders, Tzu Chi volunteers also care for children's education. They visited a primary school in the city of Batapur to distribute stationery supplies. More than 100 students were benefited.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, just hope that you all study well. Okay? Next time do well, go to university. Okay?
As we can see, love and kindness were accumulated from around the world. A compassionate giving can also bring people closer together.
Myanmar suffered severe flood last summer. To help affected farmers, Tzu Chi will conduct the second round of distributions after the Lunar New Year. Recently, 30 volunteers from Taiwan, Malaysia, and Myanmar worked together to prepare for the upcoming rice seed distributions. Getting on the truck bed and driving along the bumpy roads, the Tzu Chi Liaison Office will conduct their second round of distribution for last year's flood-affected farmers after the Lunar New Year. Volunteers from Malaysia, Taiwan, and Myanmar have started the preparations for the upcoming distributions.
Before, when we surveyed the site ourselves, we usually chose a location close to us and did a rough assessment. On the contrary, volunteers from Taiwan chose a farther and more difficult place. Although the journey is difficult, we can truly feel for the sufferings and pains of the farmers during the process.
To ensure the quality of rice seeds, Tzu Chi volunteers and the personnel from the Ministry of Agriculture double-check the inventory and the preservation method.
The thing that the senior volunteers are concerned about is how to preserve rice seeds properly. This way the seeds will be intact when they are given out to the farmers 1 month later. In addition, when they coordinate with the village chief and the Ministry of Agriculture, they are always respectful towards them, delivering the blessings from Dharma Master Zheng Yan.
Within the 2 days of the site survey, volunteers had to visit 3 different places. Despite the busy schedule, no one complained of fatigue.
In the past, when we investigated the distribution venue, we usually made our own judgment on how many rice seeds and people can be accommodated. But the volunteers from Taiwan measured it in reality, and they even drew a floor plan. It's really worth learning.
Despite the difficult task of the preparations, volunteers from 3 different countries have learned from each other, hoping to make farmers feel the love from global Tzu Chi volunteers. Tzu Chi Thailand chapter held its year-end blessing ceremony. During the event, the volunteers led participants to sing a song together to promote a vegetarian lifestyle, touching many people. Most of the participants also believe that it's everyone's responsibility to do their part, helping protect Mother Earth.
Tzu Chi taught us how to become a good person. Also, Tzu Chi volunteers have worked hard to purify people's hearts and minds. This kindness will help to reduce the chance of natural disaster from happening.
We can see the selfless giving of Dharma Master Zheng Yan for all the sentient beings around the world, which impresses me. The Master's teachings can make our world become peaceful and harmonious.
Tzu Chi Thailand chapter has held its year-end blessing ceremony. A video of Tzu Chi footprints of love in 2018 was shown as well to spread the spirit of compassionate giving.
Caring for people who have long been suffering is a very good deed, so we need to work hard to maintain its goal. Due to my busy schedule, I don't have the chance to come and help. Therefore, I donated my savings to help those in need.
The students also brought back their bamboo coin banks.
Our bamboo coin banks were filled with love. We hope this can help others in need. We know that Tzu Chi will use the money to help the impoverished people and also the sufferings. This is why we are glad to donate and help out.
We can create a peaceful world by giving with love. If we cherish our resources, purify our heart, and do things to benefit all living beings, we can live in a world free of disasters.
Tzu Chi Philippines chapter held a year-end blessing ceremony for volunteers, care recipients, scholarship recipients, and people undergoing job training. At the occasion, the participants reviewed what happened in the past year and pray for the new year.
The video shows Tzu Chi's footprints in the Philippines in 2018.
It's an incredible affinity that we can gather here safely. What an endless blessing.
Care recipients, scholarship recipients, and the job training students gather for this year-end ceremony.
Thank you.
Many of them have known Tzu Chi because of Typhoon Katrina 10 years ago, and they have never stopped saving money in their coin banks.
Ayun, parang inaano rin namin yung blessing.
We dropped coins to share blessing. We had received help before, and now we want to be the ones who can give help.
It's not the amount. It's yung dedication.
It doesn't matter how much you donate, it's the thought that counts. The thought to help people. To poor people, the value of 1 peso outweighs its face value.
We encourage them to join our ranks so we can have more volunteers and more donors so we can do more for the society.
At the beginning of 2019, everyone gathered to pray for safety and prosperity.
In China, more than 3,000 residents participated in the year-end blessing ceremonies in Xiamen. In the ceremonies, many entrepreneurs and young volunteers also performed a sutra adaptation. Let's join them there.
With the stunning drum beats, the dignified year-end blessing ceremony begins. 20 entrepreneurs led 18 young volunteers to perform in the sutra adaptation.
There are many miscellaneous things I need to handle as the company. However, at Tzu Chi, I feel very relaxed and at ease.
A total of 3,500 people participated in the 2-year blessing ceremonies in Xiamen. The person being featured in one of the program's videos, Huang Jiabing, is one of the injured survivors of the 2013 BRT auto accident. The volunteers have been caring for him over the years, and now he has started his own family.
I'm grateful to Tzu Chi volunteers. Without their care and assistance, we would not be able to enjoy the wonderful family life we have now.
Another volunteer, Ye Youde, has turned over a new leaf because of Tzu Chi. In the past, he drank alcohol excessively. Later, he fell ill and started to learn about Tzu Chi. He started to do recycling, and that has changed everything about his life.
Playing Ye-Yo De today, I feel like I've returned to my past. Him becoming a Tzu Chi volunteer means that he has chosen the correct life path.
While Ye-Yo De's story had deeply touched the audience, his family members were the most grateful.
I've met many Tzu Chi volunteers and made friends with many good people here. Thanks to all of their help, I also can now have my father back in brand new shape.
The highlight of the event comes when people receive their red envelopes of blessing and wisdom. Then everyone also sees the occasion to pray for safety and prosperity in the new year.
Turkey has been a bridge between East and West since the ancient times. In 2011, the country has become a stopover for Syrian refugees seeking asylum in Europe. Turkey and the European Union recently signed a memorandum of cooperation to provide living allowances for refugees as they await their status. Today, we launch a series of reports about how these migrants are integrated into life abroad and overcoming their longing for home.
No time to rescue their prized possessions or each other. Damascus Rose sheds a tear. 6 million people flee the country.
The weather is only one such obstacle. Since Syria's civil war beginning in 2011, Turkey has played the role of a bridge used by refugees seeking entrance to Europe. These snow-covered mountains are just one of the difficulties they need to overcome.
Labeled as a refugee, it's quite hard to immigrate to Europe. This leads more and more to consider staying in Turkey, making it temporarily their home. Sultan Gazi is a small town in central Istanbul. There are many opportunities for work in traditional industries here. Many Syrians come here as they begin their migration to the north. These dim yellow stairs lead to where immigrant factory workers live. 17-year-old Ahmed is the only source of income for the whole family.
When it's time to receive my monthly salary, I have to ask my boss to increase my pay. But it doesn't always happen. The last time was Al Haddad, when he said he could raise pay, but he didn't.
Ahmed recently had an operation and had to stop working. His brother is 19 years old, but he still acts like a child. Here he uses his pen to draw some of his scenes from home, as well as the Tzu Chi lotus flower.
Painkiller.
Painkiller.
Yes, painkiller.
Ahmed's father has difficulty walking and the whole family has to depend upon the son to support the family.
In Aleppo, our family was doing well and all of our children were attending schools.
In Syria, the family operated a general store, though now only photos remain.
Allah, Allah, let me go back to my country soon.
In early 2019, the civil war appears to be coming to an end. In southern parts of the country, some refugees are beginning to go home. As the sun sets, the heart of these refugees is still restless. Many still dream of returning to their hometown and the mountains, clear water, and flowers.
In Henfeng village of Taoyuan, a resident's home was cluttered with many items, leading to sanitation problems. The chief of the village asked Tzu Chi volunteers for assistance. Volunteers immediately conducted a cleanup, hoping to provide a better environment for both the neighborhood and the family.
Here we can see many items have been piled up both inside and outside of the house, making it difficult to walk around. The homeowner, Mr. Yet, has mobility issues due to stroke. His wife likes to hoard items at home. Tzu Chi volunteers came to help them to do a cleanup.
This resident has a hoarding disorder, leading to unmanageable amounts of clutter. This has affected the sanitation of the neighborhood. So we asked Tzu Chi volunteers to come and help us. They immediately came to do a cleanup. We are grateful for their assistance.
Despite the poor environment, the volunteers still wanted to help with the cleaning and provide a cleaner environment for this family. More than 20 volunteers worked together to clean up the entire house. The garbage truck had to come twice to transport all the trash that had been cleared out.
Thank you so much for your help. All of the volunteers have put much efforts into the cleaning work. I'm grateful to all of you.
The volunteers also brought a new mattress for the family and put up spring couplets and jeans aphorisms, hoping they can have a wonderful Lunar New Year.
Getting one's blood drawn is something that can help doctors better understand the body's overall health conditions. However, many people do not know the proper ways to stop the bleeding after the blood test has been conducted. Doctors suggest that the best way to help stop the bleeding after a blood draw is to press down with your finger for 5 minutes. The common method of folding the arm is actually not at all recommended. Here's why.
Ms. Dang took her mother-in-law to the doctors. She had to get her blood drawn. The process of getting your blood drawn still needs a bit of courage, especially in certain situations.
My blood vessels are quite deep in there, so at times they aren't able to be found. Then, when one arm doesn't work, we would need to switch to the other arm.
Everyone has different experiences when getting their blood drawn. When it comes to a nervous senior, the medical personnel will act accordingly. When you see red, do not be frightened. The focus should be placed on after the needle has been pulled out. Many people bend their arms like this, which isn't always the best way to stop the bleeding.
For example, if the location of the needle prick was here, if you fold your arms up, it won't be pressing on that area at all, so the pressure will not be enough at the right spot.
The medical laboratory technician suggests that the arm should be naturally straightened and uses one's finger to press down on the spot for 5 minutes. If the coagulation function is not good, it should be pressed for a longer period of time. Without proper pressure applied, the blood will accumulate under the skin, causing a hematoma, which is commonly known as bruising.
If there's bleeding that occurs, the blood clotting agent in our bloodstream would automatically be activated. It will start to tell the blood to coagulate. The main point of pressing down for 5 minutes after blood drawn is to help speed up this process so the bleeding can clot faster.
In addition, do not rub on the entry point. This is due to the fact that the blood vessels have already been penetrated, so any other movements will make it harder for it to repair itself.
If you're injured and you keep on rubbing on the wound, not only does it make it almost impossible for the blood to clot on its own, but it will make it that much more painful.
In the first 24 hours, it's advised to apply ice to the affected area. Then, after 48 hours have passed, a hot compress can be used. After about a week's time, the bruising will start to fade away.
Getting your blood drawn is one way to help the doctor get a better understanding of your overall health condition. Just remember to pay attention to your actions afterwards, ensuring proper safety measures.
The humanitarian Ecotech Pavilion at the Taichung Flora Expo has been open for 2.5 months. Visitor numbers have hit a record high with 470,000 visitors attending in recent counts. Thanks to Tzu Chi volunteers' dedicated effort and tour guide and other creative actions, This time they've came up with a new activity, which is turning kitchen waste into fertilizer. The Humanitarian Ecotech Pavilion at Taichung Floral Expo always has a new environmental protection activity in addition of its regular exhibitions.
抽克1克，然后菌种2克，非常简单，就是一层一层的，就像三明治哦，哈。好，来放下去，把它铺平，所有的菜叶、水果皮都可以哈。
Tzu Chi volunteers are promoting the concept of turning kitchen waste into natural fertilizer.
Only cook and buy the amounts of food you will eat. Don't purchase too much and waste food.
Visitors listened mindfully and were all excited to try it at home. There were about 80 visitors from National Taiwan Museum of Fine Arts, and they were all impressed by the idea.
I've noticed that this is a wonderful product, but I never knew how to make it.
I want to try it at home because this can protect the earth.
Volunteers have explained clearly and allowed us to practice making it. Everyone felt it's interesting, and it was a nice experience. My community had been doing this for a while.
Kitchen waste often accounts for 39.4% of garbage at home. By turning it into fertilizers, it can decrease about 40% of the trash. In addition, liquid fertilizers can also be of use in planting and gardening.
Other than planting vegetables, you can also spray it on top of the leaves. The smell can help get rid of bugs.
一会浇那个花好漂亮哦，开得很快，那开起来都比别人种的漂亮。
Why not try to make your own fertilizers with kitchen waste? With just a few simple steps, you can lessen the garbage amount in your house. The success of the Humanitarian Ecotech Pavilion relies on the help of many volunteers. Next, we will meet Wang Zongbing, who is one of the main coordinators at the pavilion. Besides being an excellent communicator, he is also good at problem solving.
早上我们刚来的时候没有荧幕，
没有荧幕。The Humanitarian Ecotech Pavilion faces different situations every day. Wang Zongbing is one of the main coordinators of the pavilion. If something happens, he will be there to solve the problem.
那我们可能会请那个水电师兄把那个水稍微做一个调整。
The duration of Flora Expo is about 170 days. Therefore, there's a high demand for volunteers. As Tzu Chi volunteers from 5 districts takes turn to provide guided tours, the coordinator of each district plays an important role.
The main coordinators work very hard. As a district coordinator, we will do our best to cooperate with them.
After retiring as a teacher, Wang Zongbing had joined Tzu Chi. He became a certified Tzu Chi commissioner 13 years ago. He's very good at communicating with others. In addition, he was the main coordinator at the Buddha Day ceremony of the Central Region. The devotion of the senior volunteers at the pavilion had made a huge impression in him.
Here, most of the docents are senior volunteers. I'm grateful to all of them. They work very hard and they are all fast learners.
Mr. Wang believes that the success of the pavilion relies on the teamwork of the volunteers. He was also grateful to each one of them, as they have been working non-stop at the venue.
DaAi Tzu Chi volunteers hosted a hot pot event for care recipient families, as well as providing free haircut services. An elementary student donated 30 centimeters of her hair to help cancer patients in need. We will leave you with these images and thank you for joining us. Goodbye.